I got asked yesterday about what is the 1988 FG era. And I was about to tell her, just go search through my channel, type in FG, and I said, well, let me make sure it's there. Let me go check it out. And you know what? I have no video on the 1988 United States Lincoln Memorial penny with the flared G era. Now, so this is going to be it. Let me find it. I know there's one that's graded, flared. I'm going to put it into eBay so that way it comes up so I could show it. So you know exactly what I'm talking about, and you know that it is that they do grade it. And I'm going to, let me see, U.S. coins. Oh wow, someone must have bought it. It's not here. Did I spell it right? Flair? Oh no. Oh, is it Flared? Oh, FL. I think I spelled it wrong. Flared. Okay, there it goes. Okay, and it has. Let's look. We'll just look at the PCGS ones. Okay, and we'll go highest first. There's a bunch of them. I like to go lowest first. I wonder if there's any in auction. Oh yeah, the cheapest is $204. Yeah, they're cheese, man. FS901. Okay, so you can still get them for around $200 one, and then it jumps up to $4. People want their money. That's all there is to it. Okay, so again, one sold for 200, and there's one more for 200. So we're going to talk about that today. How you identify them in case you find them yourself, and what it is. And shout out to my longest standing member, Eric from Keen Eye Collectibles. Go check him out. He is the one who taught me the what exactly it was, because it's a little confusing. So I'm going to do this video to share the information, and hopefully if those of you, I have gotten messages about them, and again, I thought that I had a video up. I did not. So this is it. This will be the video for eternity to know what a flared G is on the 1988 Lincoln Memorial Center. So, okay, so the 1988, got some junk on my fingers, excuse me. That's from doing the penny roll hunting. Get all kinds of stuff in your hands. The 1988 is a Lincoln Memorial Cent. This building in the back is the Lincoln Memorial down in Philadelphia. And that's the Lincoln right there, right? Or Washington, wherever it's at. No, I think it's in Philadelphia. Well, wherever it's at. Maybe it's Washington, D.C. So that's the type of penny, right? In 2010, they get a shield. In 2009, it has the variations, and then they have shields again. So so this is the thing to know about. I think it's all coins, but it's definitely U.S. pennies. During the final, I think it's November and December, if I remember correctly, the final 2 months of the year, they make the dies for the following year, right? So in whatever year you think of, by the end of that year, they make the die, right? Because they can't wait for the day of to make the dies, right? They take a tremendous amount of time. As far as I know, they might start making it a year before, right? Because they have to do computers and all kinds of stuff. Okay. I have one of the dies. I bought one. I don't have it here. They're pretty expensive, so I put it away. but I bought one of the dies that they use to strike planchets to make pennies. Okay, so during this year, for whatever reason, now the one thing, do they start to make the pennies in the year before? That I'm not sure of. But I know they make the dies the year before. Obviously, they have to. When they start actually hitting the pennies, that part I'm not sure of. If it's done like they didn't have any 2025 pennies available for. I don't even know if they're out yet, and we're going into May. So I'm not sure if they actually produced the pennies in the year before. I don't think so. That would probably cause some confusion. Billions and billions of pennies in during the previous year. They might not. But the dies they do make the in 1989, right? They made the dies in 1988 so that that way they're ready for the new year. Now, in most cases, the reverse looks the same for most of the years, right? So you wouldn't even know if they put a reverse. Actually, you wouldn't even know, right? If you found if they even if they did the previous year, you're not going to know if it's the same. If it looks the exact same, you won't even know. But what happened is the 89 has something different about it than the 88. So when they accidentally used the two different dies, they used the 88 anvil, right? The anvil is the part on the bottom, and they used an 89 hammer die. There was a difference on the 89, so people noticed it. They're like, "Oh wow, they used the wrong die." But if they were identical, you wouldn't even know. So for all we know, there's tons of 88s and 89s flown or whatever different years out there. But because the reverse is the same, you wouldn't know unless you got it in the wrapper or somehow they were able to identify it. But in this case, the 89 has something specifically different on the reverse than the 88. So when people see that it says 88 and they look on the back, and it's called the Flare G. I will get that's about as close as I can get without losing without it getting blurry. Okay. So I have done this in videos before, but I have not made a designated video on it. So let me do this again. Like I said, this part I remember doing in the past. So I'm going to explain to you what the Flare G is, because that's really what you want to know. So on the 88, the G, oh, it's sticky on that side. The G on the 88, the G in the FG, right? So there's an FG. All right, we got an FG. That's on the reverse. It's the initials of the person who made the artist or something like that, or the mint person or whatever it is. That's his initials, right? FG. So on the 88, here's the F. The G looks like a C. On this 88 and 99.99999% of the 1988s, the G looks like a C. Right? And I think, and maybe it looks like this or something. Right? And that's about it. But that's basically how it looks. It has a little bit of indications. Very, It's very minimal. The serif, right? The serif is on a coin, on excuse me, on a letter, on letters. Like here's an I, right? That's an I. If a coin has serifs, right, which is uh, the Roman typeface, then it would go like this, and you could put little circles, partial circles, and these are the serifs. So New York Times Roman has serifs on the typeface. The 1988 FG does not have serifs, right? So on a G, a serif would look like this, right? So here's the G, right? Here's a G. This is the way a G looks. If it has serifs, it would have this. See the little, now those are serifs, like this, like on the I, has it there. If you could put little circles, and it that you make the ends of the letter. Now the 88 has no serifs. It just has some little blobby things, or it has very weak serifs, whatever you want to call it. But on the 89, it has a serif. Okay? So this is the difference between the 88 and the 89. The 89 has that serif on the G. So it doesn't look like a C. It looks like a real G, the way it's like this. Okay? Now, let me see if we can find a close-up of one on okay, there you go. All right, I'm going to show you the eBay FG, and you'll see what I'm saying. So you see here, that's the FG. See, it's $400, and the error is called FS901. Okay, Flare G, and they stated Flare G FS901. All right, but this, what year is it? All right, 19. And it says 1988. It says 1988. Okay, so let's go back. So here you can see the G. Let me take a picture of that. You can see the G on the bottom. You see the little line? All right, so look at that G, and you can see it in the middle. So that G has this line in the middle, this serif in the middle, and you can see the line coming down. The 88 G looks like this. Basically looks like a C. Right, so here's the 88. I don't know if you can see it or not. Okay, it looks like this. Okay, all right. Now that I looked at it, it looks like this. On this part here, this is how they make. This is how you know it's a G instead of a C. It goes up, but there's no serif. There's no this, and there's no this. The little line across. There's none of that. So it looks like this. This is the 88 G, and this is the 1989 G. So that's the difference between the two. Maybe I'll even take a little picture of that. I don't know how I'll incorporate it, but all right. Okay. So you look at, so when you find the 88, right? So this is what I do on my channel, right? Please click like and subscribe. When I see it's a 1988, I go, oh, and I look and I go like this because I want to look, I'm looking for the line. And you can tell right away there is no line in the middle, right? It looks like a C. Look how empty the space is. Look how empty the space is in the middle of the G. Now, when you look at so many of these on a regular basis, believe me, if I see a little line going down in the middle, I'm gonna be like, oh, we got a flare G. I'm gonna know it instantly. And then, well, basically it's saying now you got a $400 coin. It costs about $40, $50 to get it graded. You would probably have to get it graded. Because I don't think anybody would take your word for it. Maybe they would for $50. That's what I seen them sell for $60, $70 ungraded. But you know, you're really rolling the dice. You better know what you're doing. But they were too. See, they were and graded. They were $110, $120. There's one left on eBay for $200, and then they jump up to $400. So, and that's just to show you how things are. So you can find yourself a $400 penny if you find the flare G. All right. I hope that was helpful. That's the best understanding I have of the 1988 flare G. Obviously, condition is everything. The one we were looking at was MS65. Let me see what they all are online. Are they all MS65s? Oh, the $200 one is an MS64. So there you go. And each grade makes a huge difference. So there are, okay, and the MS66, they want 600, no best offer. They want this $600. So if you find a 66, a really clean looking flare G 88, you know, you're talking about a lot of money. And there, let me see if there's any 67s. Yeah, I'll do it with you. So I was looking through them here. I started up here. See, $200 for the 1964, and $400 for the 65s. Yeah, I remember when they were about $100. I don't remember. Could have been auction, and then it was $50 ungraded. So obviously way up. 600 for the 66 MS66, and then it just keeps going up. This guy wants this one says D on it. I didn't know the D's. This is probably not a flare G. Hey, let's see. Let's click on it. See what the guy's got. He doesn't even take a close-up picture of it. Hard to tell. Hard to tell. I do see the little. It looks like it has a little line here, but I wouldn't give him $700 for that. I would buy one of these for 600 and, you know, graded already. All right, and then the highest one they got is this one, MS65, which of course you wouldn't buy MS65, you'd buy the MS66. And that's about all I got. So I hope that was helpful. This is the definitive explanation, deep dive into the flare G. Hopefully, if you enjoyed this, you've given the video a thumbs up. I got thousands of coin videos, penny roll hunting videos. Check it out. Consider becoming a member. Consider everything else. What is it? The super chats and all that stuff. All right. Thank you. God bless. And I'll see you in the next one.